And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. Long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the EQ. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 2,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. We also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word Highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature, philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way, over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this dipole runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Charlie, got a copy? Oh, yeah, the little QRM on the low side of it, but I'm copying you very well. You're running 15 and 20 over direct, as I don't have the capability of an SDR. Are you copying okay, Jim?
Roger, Roger, Charlie, copying fine.
Roger, Roger, Charlie, copying fine.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon to you. K1GZL, Clarksville, Northern New Hampshire, and on this January 20th, and it's overcast outside. We have 4 inches of snow. The high today was 30, and the temperature now is 30 degrees, and there's still ice on my antenna. However, with the tuning on the 7300, I may be able to get away with it. By the way, I do have a little bit of Captain Mike on here from about 2 weeks ago. Now, I will be working him. He will be flying again this coming week, and I'll be picking him up on Tuesday morning as he flies from Sacramento to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And, of course, I'll just be running barefoot here. And there we are. So here's Captain Mike, I believe, over in Nebraska about 2 weeks ago.
Good morning, Charlie. I hope you're feeling well. We're right exactly over O'Neill, Nebraska, at 37,000. And beautiful day out here, snow-covered down below here, minus 56 here. And we're showing about 1,100 miles from Philadelphia. And Dylan here next to me says hello. KS70, over to you, Jim, from KX4 Whiskey Charlie.
Okay, and that was, he was talking about Neil. Neil is his co-pilot at that time, his co-pilot. So I hope that came through okay. And the Captain Mike does a marvelous job with the 400 watts he runs from that plane. Even when he's on the ground in Philadelphia on 40 meters, I've seen him 20 and almost 30 dB over S9 near the noon hour or early afternoon. It's just incredible. Just an 8-foot antenna on the upslope part of the front of the tail will do. It's amazing. All right, KC9VKV. I hope you could hear that. K1GZL.
Roger, Roger, Charlie, just beautiful, not a problem. You got probably the hottest signal there. I know you're on low power, but you're still doing well into Milford. Roger, Roger.
To Milford. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Thank you very much. Okay, Jim, look, I won't hold you any longer. I will try to catch you next Friday. And next Friday, it looks like we have more storm activity. It looked like Sunday night storm was going to miss us out to sea, but I don't think so now. I think we're going to get it, and I don't know how much, though. And then around Wednesday night or Thursday, we're going to get another one. And if it doesn't run inland, and turn everything to rain, that could be a significant clobbering of snow here. This one here we have now is done. It's not doing anything out at present, and if we get any more this evening, it will be just flurries. But the weekend itself, tomorrow and Sunday, should be very nice up here. Should be very nice. So I'll say 73. My voice is just a little rough today. I hope you'll forgive me on that. And if you'd like, Craig, I can call you down. If you're on frequency, I can call you around 50, 55 for a short one. Go ahead, Jim, K1GZL.
Roger, Roger, Charlie. Thank you so very much, sir. Always a pleasure. You have a good afternoon, a beautiful weekend. I hope the temp's nice for you over the weekend there. And we'll see you next Friday, 73, sir. Just a reminder, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So without further ado, let's open it up. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Is that a Kilo Oscar 4 station? Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Kilo Foxtrot Charlie Oscar.
Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Charlie Oscar, is that a Roger?
Oscar 4 Foxtrot Charlie Oscar, is that a Roger?
Roger, Roger.
Alrighty, and what's the name there?
Alrighty, and what's the name there?
Name is Bob. I'm on a FTDX 101 Delta with a ACOM 1200S amp, a Cobra Senior antenna. Over.
Roger, Roger, Bob, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Roger, Bob, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Located in Dyer, Tennessee.
Roger, Bob. Well, if you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you verifying that you're in that 100 to 2900 bandpass. Roger, Roger, 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass.
Roger, Roger, 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass.
Roger.
All right, and if then we would go on to the setup. Starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3, a token amount, something you'll never really hear on the air, but it helps us ballistically achieving our 3 dB dynamic range. So compression on at a 3, Roger, or that's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100?
Roger, or that's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100?
Yeah, we doing, Bob?
Yeah, we doing, Bob?
Okay, processor is on 3.
Yes, sir. Okay, now let's move to, I'll tell you what, I'm currently on Milford. I'm going to try to my local antenna there. If you would, why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system?
Give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system.
Bob, if you could, why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 10 seconds? Let me see if I can find a better path for us.
Seconds? Let me see if I can find a better path for us.
Slowing down. It's about 45 feet in the air.
All right, Bob, I've got you good on my dipole there. You're about 20 over, so I got a real good copy on you. So you've got your compressor on at a 3, and then we'll move up to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, just elongate the front of that, and you become a human test tone generator, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. So that's mic gain adjustment to where your ALC is running 2/3 as you say the magic word audio. Roger, Roger?
Roger. Audio. Audio. Audio.
That looked to be about 2/3 for you?
Roger.
Alrighty, and tell me the best thing you like about your radio, and let me listen to you for about 10 seconds or so.
The FTDX 101 Delta, due to the receiving part, it has a extremely good receiver in it seems to have a good transmitter also.
I think the Yazoo is just hard to beat.
Yes, sir. Bob, you sound mighty good, sir. I've got you, like I say, my local dipole at about 30 over, so it really sounds good, and you'll enjoy your recording. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, roger.
All right, Bob, 73, sir. You have a real good afternoon, a beautiful weekend down there in Tennessee. 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. My name is Jim, and if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
This is Kilo Oscar 4, Juliet, Quebec, Lima.
Kilo Oscar 4 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Yes, sir. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Juliet, Quebec, Lima.
Juliet, Quebec, Lima, Roger, Roger. And what's the name there?
My name is Nathan, and my QTH is Kershaw, South Carolina.
Roger, Roger. Come back phonetically with your name, please, sir.
November, Alpha, Tango, Halo, Alpha, November.
Nathan, Roger, Roger. I didn't hear the first of that very well, so I'm glad you did it phonetically. So, Nathan, now what radio are you running, sir?
I just ordered the Yazoo FT891 for POTA operations, and I just got it fired up and turned on. Curious if it was putting out.
Alrighty, so it's an 891. What's the preamble on that 891?
I am not sure at the moment. I have just cut it on and started playing in the book, and just kind of curious if it was actually putting out.
Roger, Roger. You're on that radio right now?
Copy that. I am on the FT891 at the moment.
Roger, Roger. Well, you're just in time for a setup if you would like. First thing is to, I know you're not very familiar with that radio, but can you tell me that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode? 100 to 2900 is what we're looking for. If you're not sure, just make a note of that, and then you can check it at your convenience later on. Roger?
I am not quite sure. I would have to check it later and find out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you familiar with it enough to know whether your compressor is on that radio?
Not at the moment, sir. That's what I was doing. Checking all the buttons out and trying to find out where everything was in the functions.
Yes, sir. Okay, let me give you a couple of notes, and you might take down these notes and then crank them in at your leisure. The first thing is we touched on that just a moment ago, your transmit bandwidth. We want that to be at the highest we can, like 100 to 2900 is the best favorable position. And so if you find that in your book, transmit bandwidth, we want it on 100 to 2900. Then you would move to your compressor and crank in a 3 on your compressor. Now that's a 3 out of 10. Or 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor is labeled. Just a third of the compressor is what we're looking for. So that's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. So then we would move to our ALC with mic gain in hand. And as we say the magic word audio, we adjust the mic gain until the ALC is running 2/3. So that's on your ALC meter, 2/3 as you say the magic word audio and adjust that with your mic gain. Roger?
Copy that. I have to find all that information in this book and try to walk myself through that.
Yes, sir. And then one other note is when you get to your EQ page, equalization page, tone control, whatever they want to call it, we want to get 2 more clicks treble EQ from where you are. That's plus 2 clicks treble boost from where you are on your equalization page, your tone control page. Roger?
Copy that.
All right, Nathan, let me say 7-3s to you, sir, and I'll be listening for those numbers maybe next week when you get a chance to check in and let me hear all those numbers cranked in there, Roger.
Copy that. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Juliet, Quebec, Lima. I'll be 73s. And can I get your QTH?
Yes, sir. We're just across the street from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger?
Copy that. Thank you, and 73.
Yes, sir, Nathan, 73 to you. And if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400 Qso-Vlog recordings, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Copy that.
All right, Nathan, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
AC4KW.
KW station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Alpha Charlie 4 Kilo Whiskey.
Roger, Kilo Whiskey, and what's the name?
The name is Angel, Mr. James. You've helped me out in the past. Just wanted to stop by and say happy Friday to you. You're sounding great coming into South Carolina as always. Over.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, I'm running my 7300 this afternoon. I usually on my pretty well modified Yaesu 990, but this afternoon I'm on my 7300, Roger.
Yeah, QSO. Well, you sound fantastic as always, Mr. James. We're not going to tie it up. We know you got a bunch of guys calling you in there. We just want to stop by and say very good afternoon to you, and we appreciate the service that you do for all amateurs out there on the airwaves, trying to get everybody's audio squared away. Mr. James, best 7-3 to you, sir. I'll let you go from AC4KW. Angel in Charleston, South Carolina. When you hear me, call me.
Roger, Kilo Whiskey, and what was the name again?
Angel, Alpha, November, Golf, Echo, Lima.
Roger, Angel, and what radio were you running today?
Mr. James, today I'm on the Flex 6600, and the amplifier is the PGXL. The microphone is the RE27 microphone, and I'm going through a small Yamaha board. Over.
Yes, sir, there. And Angel, you will, if you get a chance, check out your audio on YouTube. Go to YouTube and do the search for KC9VKV logbook. That will bring up this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And as I'm looking at my frequency meter, you're well, wall to wall from 100 all the way up to 29. Roger.
QSL sounds fantastic. Okay, Mr. James, take care. We won't hold you. Appreciate all you do. Best 7-3. KC9VKV. Alpha Charlie 4 Kilo Whiskey. 7-3.
Roger, sir. And on that spectrum analyzer, it's on the set, and you can see that as you're looking at your video. 73 there, Angel, and we'll catch you later. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We record now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Copy, WB6, WCL.
WCL station, come back. I tell you what, that station CL, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
I'll take a standby for the other gentleman. Over.
I could not copy him. I can copy you, sir. If you would, go ahead with your call sign.
Yeah, I'll call it Whiskey Bravo 6, Whiskey Charlie Ocean. You copy here in St. Augustine, Florida. Over.
Okay, Whiskey Charlie Ocean, I think you hit your VFO. We're on 7188.00, 7188.00, Roger?
Yeah, copy that. Is that a little bit better? I'm on a antiquated TSA 30S, over.
Yes, sir, I think you got it there. Repeat one more time, your call sign.
Yeah, Whiskey Bravo 6, Whiskey Charlie Ocean, over.
Roger, Whiskey Charlie Ocean, and what's the name?
The name is Ted. How you doing, buddy? Ted here in St. Augustine.
Roger, Ted. Gosh, we don't get down to Florida too often, Roger.
Copy, you need to get down here more often, over.
Roger. And Ted, what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running this is an old school TSA-30S, and I'm with the original MC50 microphone. A little bit of compression, and the amplifier is a Denton Clipper. The amplifier is a Denton Clipper 1010L.
Yeah, roger that, Ted. I just was looking around for a better copy, but it looks like my dipole is going to be it. It sounded mighty good. If you'd be interested in our setup procedure there, it is, you might double check your ALC to be sure you're in that 2/3 bracket. That is, bring up your ALC, mic in hand, and as you say the word audio, stretch out that audio, you become a human test generator, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC is reading 2/3, Roger.
Yeah, copy that. I'm actually looking at it as we're talking. Back down the compression, the processor. Hold on a second. Let's bring that up right there and back that down. Let's back that down a little bit. Does that sound a little bit better right there? Over.
Roger. Well, normally on that compressor we're looking for 3. 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100, just a third of the compression possibilities. And, if you have do not have markings, it would be like at 9:30, 10 o'clock on your compression control. Roger?
Yeah, I do. Does that sound a little bit better right there?
Okay, you're off frequency just a little bit. Do you... I'm sorry, do you have a frequency meter, or is your radio just tend to wander? Is it an older radio?
Yeah, it's an old TSA-30S. Over.
I see. So you're playing catch-up there a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to tell exactly what's going on in the timbre department of the audio curve if the radio is slightly off frequency. At least it is for me anyway. But I think it sounds good. Do you have onboard equalization at all?
No, it's funny. I don't have a free count or anything to work with it. And let me take a look at this. Yeah, let me back some of this stuff down. Is that a little bit better right there? I'm back within the LC realm there. Over.
Yes, sir. And what happens is when you're slightly low in frequency, your lower notes tend to get stronger. So the more you can be on frequency, I would suggest that you, if you're going to run that radio, maybe get you a frequency freak counter, and then you'll know that you're directly on the frequency you're talking on, Roger.
Yeah, copy that, and I apologize. This is antiquated equipment, over.
Yes, it sounds good. Now, you were on frequency on that one, and it really sounded good.
Yeah, copy that. I backed everything off a little bit, and I was looking at what you said, the ALC, the compression. You don't want to overdo anything, and like I said, this is old school radio stuff, over.
Yes, sir. Well, we found that 3 on the compressor is ideal. It's something that you'll never hear it on the air, but it just does wonders, for being so transparent. So usually just a third of the compression capabilities, 3 out of 10, or 30 out of 100, or 9:30, 10 o'clock on the control, depending on how that goes. Roger?
Yeah, copy that. I'm on a 3 on the compression. I'm back down. Maybe 10% off peaking the ALC with the audio gain. If I'm on frequency to you, does it sound okay?
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Right on. And we are recording now, so if you'd like to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and we'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Well, copy that. You are a kind gentleman, and thank you. You are doing a fantastic, beautiful job in the great state of Florida. Over.
Yes, sir, Ted, and I have a spectrum analyzer in the studio tied to the audio, and it's showing exactly what you're doing frequency response-wise. So when you look at your audio and listen to it, the spectrum analyzer, it will be telling you what it's doing. And just in a word of what's happening with that, there's the white mark to the left is 100 cycles. The first white mark to the right is 1 KC. Then there's a blank segment, which is 2 KC, and the next segment, the next white marking is 3 KC. I'm sorry, 4 KC. Roger?
Well, copy that, my dear friend, and it's been very much a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I know there's a lot of other people out there who want to get out there, but you're doing a fantastic job. And thank you very, very much. Over.
Roger, Roger, Ted. 73 to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and we record now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 4 November.
The same for everybody.
Whiskey 4 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Whiskey 4 November Foxtrot.
November Foxtrot. Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Name is Jack, and I'm in Manassas, Virginia.
Okay, so give it to me phonetically.
Whiskey 4 November Foxtrot. Name is Jack, Japan Alpha Charlie Kilo, and I'm in Virginia, Victor Alpha.
Yes, sir, got that. And what radio are you running today, Jack?
I'm running a K3S with a Heil HC6 microphone.
All right. Will you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and let me listen to your audio.
Okay, very good. I am running right now a 40-meter 2-element beam at 75 feet. For the high bands, I have a 3-stack of Force 12 Charlie 3 Echo tri-banders at 90, 60, and 30 feet. I have a 80-meter dipole at 100 feet and an inverted L on 160 with 60 ground radials. Over.
Roger, Roger. Jack, I'm looking at my spectrum analyzer, and it looks like your audio is rolling out there at about 450 cycles. You're really chopping that bottom end. You could expand that bottom just a little bit and still be very loud and clear, Roger.
Okay, yeah, very good. I did, this has the 8-band equalizer on it, and I have the 50, 100, and 200 hertz tuned way down. But, I was trying to make sure it had some punch, more highs in it for the North America QSO party tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Well, that's an 8-band. Is it a parametric?
Yes.
Okay. What we suggest with a parametric is you be flat from 400 cycles to 1400. Somewhere around there, just all those controls flat from 400 to 1500, 400 to 1500 just flat. It doesn't matter what the widths and all that stuff is. If you're flat, you're flat, and it doesn't matter what the width is. But I would set everything at flat from 400 to 1500 KC. Roger?
Okay, well, I'll give that a try and see how that sounds also.
All right, I could hang out with you as you did that. Can you, your top end, can you sweep that to 2.7K, 2.7K width of 4?
Well, I have to do it in these bands on the K3 itself, so I can modify my 400, my 800, and my 1600 settings to 0.
Roger, that's what I would do. I would get those flat, then I would go up to 2700, 2.7K, and I would use that as my push frequency, and I would go about +4 with a width of 4, +4 with a width of 4 at 2.7K. Roger?
Okay, well, let me just do the 4, 8, and 16. It'll take me 1 second.
All right, I'll hang out for you. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We record now live till 5, and Jack is working on his K3S, kind of trying to get that parametric EQ flat from 400 cycles to 1.5K, and then we'll move up to 2.7 as the push point with a width of 4 and a push of 4. And we'll see what that sounds like, and probably have to open up some of the bottom end too. Jack, if you wanted to, go ahead and flat everything on that bottom end, and we'll see what that sounds like, flat all the way down to, I guess, 200 cycles or 100 cycles, what the bottom end is, and then we'll see what we need to do.
If you can hear him, what difference does it make?
Oh, well, tonality has a great deal of difference, you know. If you don't have any top end, you don't have any articulation, you could be 30 over, but if you're not, doesn't have any frequency response in the top end, nobody's going to hear what you're saying because you're Mr. Mumbles.
What a waste of frequency.
Well, apparently you're pretty mumbles there. You could stand a little top end yourself, sir.
Okay, I'm back now. This is Whiskey 4 November Fox.
Roger, Roger, Jack. Now, go ahead and flat your bottom end there. Those controls below 400 cycles, just flatten everything on that bottom end, and we'll see what we need to do.
Okay, I did everything. I did 50, 100, 200, 400, and 800, and 1600 all flat.
It still sounds like it doesn't have much bottom. Double check your EQ. Be sure you're in the flat mode. You know, that's neither cut nor boost. Roger, Roger?
Right, that's at 0 then, so let me look.
Sounds like you still are pretty shy on the bottom end. I'm not sure why, but you know, if you're flat down there, we have to fade back and do some finagling here, Roger.
Okay, so what I did there is, so I have everything flat from 50, 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600. At 2400 I'm at plus 14. At 3200 I'm at plus 16.
Plus 60 at where?
16.
At what frequency?
Well, at 3200.
Okay, pull that back to flat just for the moment, and let me hear you all flat. Everything flat at the moment, and we'll see what that does. So that would be all your boost cut controls at 0 level in the middle. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and right now we're working with Jack, Whiskey 4 Nancy Frank in Virginia. And he's working on his K3S. And we're down to the EQ part, and he has a parametric EQ, and what he's doing right now is flattening everything across the board on that equalizer, and we're going to start from scratch on flat. And it should take probably about 20 seconds to get him running real well.
Okay, this is Whiskey 4 November Fox. Everything's flat now.
Sounding good. So, okay, give me about 10 seconds. Tell me about the best thing you like about your radio, and let me just listen to you flat.
Okay, this is Whiskey 4 November Fox. I just got the new Aircraft K4D. I have a 2-station setup here. So I run multi-contesting here from the station. I do like the K4G a lot. It has excellent pan adapter, and the receiver is very good. And I do a lot of CW contesting with that. It's the DSP filters are excellent on it.
Roger, Roger. Now, we want to go up to 2.7K, so whatever you have in that range, we want it to be on 2.7K with the 4, and we want to do about a 4-click push. So 2.7K with the 4 plus 4 boost. Roger?
Okay, guys, so I don't have any. I can just boost it, so I can go from 0 up to 16 or 0 to negative 16. So you want me to go up to 4?
Yes, sir. Up to 4 right now.
Okay, on the 2.4.
The 2.7 with the 4.
Oh, I don't have 2.7.
Do you? If you're a parametric, you could probably slide one up to 2.7 or down to 2.7. Roger?
Negative. This is set in the menu settings in the radio.
Okay, so you don't have a width control either?
No, negative.
Okay, so what you do not have is a parametric EQ. You have an 8-band EQ. Roger, Roger?
Roger. It's built into the radio.
Roger, Roger. So what do you have in the vicinity of 2.7?
2.4.
What's the one above that?
3.2, and that's the top.
Yeah, okay, let's do this. On the 2.4, make it plus 5, 2.4 plus 5, and 3.2 at plus 5 also. Roger, Roger?
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, there's Whiskey 4 November Fox. Both those are set at plus 5.
Sounding pretty good. Now, I want you to go at, you have a 200 cycle on the bottom end. You have a 200 cycle control.
Roger.
All right, I want you to come up plus 3 on that 200 cycle and let me listen to it.
Okay, hold up. Okay, there's Whiskey 4 November Fox. 200 is up to plus 3.
All right, let's keep that. Let's go back to the top end now. I want you to go 2 clicks hotter on your 2.4K and 2 clicks hotter on your 3.2.
Roger. There's Whiskey 4 November Fox, so those at 200 is at plus 3, now 2.4 is at plus 7.
Yes, sir. Okay, I want you to take that 200, back it off 1 click. Back off 1 click on the 200 cycle. Roger?
Roger. Okay, that's 1 down. Go ahead.
Alrighty, and tell me about the microphone that you're using for about 10 seconds.
Okay, this is a Heil HC4 microphone. I used to use the Heil, HC6. I used to use the Heil HC4, but it was a very narrow response, and so I bought this one just recently, and because it had a wider bandwidth on it, audio bandwidth, and it didn't pinch as much on the voice.
Okay, come back off of the 2.4 1 click. Come back off the 2.4 1 click and go up 1 click on the 3.2. Roger?
Okay, 3.2 1 up and 2.4 1 down.
Yes, sir. It's sounding just a little mid-rangey now, so we want to take that 2.4 back a little bit.
Okay, and so the 2.4 is now at +6, and the 3.2 is at +8.
All right, that 2.4, come on back where you were on that. Come back to where you were on that, Roger.
Okay, to 7.
Yeah, if that's where you came from.
Okay, Roger, that's back at 7 now on 2.4.
Yes, sir. Okay, come off one more click on your bottom end there. That 200 cycles. Come back one more click.
200 hertz, you want me to take that down to +2?
Yes, sir. Yeah, minus one click from where it was on 200 cycles, minus one click from where it was.
Okay, this is Whiskey 4 November Fox.
All right, sir, and you're right on that microphone. You're right on axis with that microphone, Roger.
Roger.
All right, let me hear you tell me about, the thing you like best about that radio, Roger.
Okay, well, the K4 that I just recently got, the pan adapter allows me to narrow down the frequency all the way down to about 5 kc, so I can sit there and watch as for open frequencies while I'm operating, especially during CW, and I have the CW filter turned down to about 200 hertz, so I'm able to get between a fair number of people there when the band is really crowded.
Roger, Roger. Let's. It still needs a little more top end. That 3.2. Come up about 3 clicks on that 3.2 if you've got it there. You know, the ideal push frequency is 2.7. Unfortunately, unless you have a parametric EQ or somebody pretty smart in setting up their EQ, it's hard to get to that, but that frequency is the ideal frequency to push. So what we're trying to do is make a compromise between that 3.2 and that 2.4 and get that 2.7 push point. Roger, Roger.
Okay, Roger. I'll come up 3 on the 3.2.
Alrighty, I think that's pretty close. At least we have some very intelligible audio on the top end. Roger. So just out of curiosity, as we review, your 3.2 is at what push?
That's at +11 now, +11.
Alrighty, and your 2.4?
2.4 is at +7.
Alrighty, and everything else is flat down to 200 cycles, and you're what at 200 cycles?
+2.
Oh, we have some very inconsiderate folks that got to tune up on an active frequency. I don't know why they need to do that. You know, it always mystifies me why they have to tune up on an active frequency. It's just active QRM is what it is. But anyway, Jack, I think we're about there. I'll be posting this recording up on YouTube by noon tomorrow. So if you go to YouTube and do a call and a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, we'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger?
Okay, so the call is KC9K Kilo Charlie Victor.
Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and then the word logbook. Roger?
Okay, very good. I really appreciate it, and look forward to listening to it tomorrow then. Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time there, and enjoy the rest of the weekend coming up.
Roger. There would be just one other thing. Are you familiar with your ALC and how to get there?
Yeah, well, I'm below the ALC right now. You know, it's within the ALC range. I do have compression on. Go ahead. Yes,
sir. And you're only running about a 2 or 3 on that compressor, Roger?
Let's see. It's probably about an 8.
No. We want to, 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. or 930. Otherwise, what happens is, let me just say this, a 3 and a 6 on compression are the same. As far as it actually working on the word, a 3 and a 6 are the same. But what happens is, a 6, you wind up with suck-up between words, and you don't want to do that. So a 3 is just the perfect amount. Roger?
Okay, very good. I did turn it down, and that's about where it is right now, a 3.
Oh, yes, sir. You're ballistically a whole lot better now. Before, you were kind of up against the wall. And what happens is, when you go past a 3 dB dynamic range, your words start to blur, and you actually start to shoot yourself in the foot, because the whole name of the game is for people to be understanding of what you're saying, if you're in heavy noise or QRM or whatever. And if your words are bent and blurry, then it's so much harder for them to pick out the actual words as to what they are. Roger?
Okay, very good. Well, I got it turned down there a little bit, so it's speaking about a 3, just about right there. Yeah, that's about it. So, okay, very good. Oh, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir, Jack. And the other thing is you need to be consistent as to the way you address the microphone. If you pull off mic there, what's going to happen is that it's going to want to try to get that level up just a little bit. And if you're not on access to the microphone, then your low frequencies are more active hitting that element than they would be if you were on access and the top end of your audio was hitting at the same level as the bottom end. So it's really important, particularly like on that microphone, for you to address it consistently. Roger? Okay,
well, it's a boom mic, so it's probably about 1.5 inches from my mouth, so it's stays that way all the time.
Yes, sir. If you had a windscreen, I don't know if that mic I haven't heard any plosives to really, hear it, but, with a windscreen, you can come right up on that mic and actually almost touch the mic. In other words, proximity to microphone is not a problem with a windscreen, Roger?
Okay, yeah, well, it does have a windscreen on it, so it's, so that's no problem there. Okay, well, appreciate your time. I'll let you help out somebody else, but thanks a lot for your effort there.
Roger, Jack. That last transmission was just beautiful. We're on it just like that. 73, sir. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Yeah, Roger. The call is Kilowatt 3 Alpha Charlie.
Alpha Charlie, Roger, what's the name there?
Alpha Charlie, Roger, what's the name there?
Yeah, the name is Bob, Boston Ocean, Boston. We're located in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area.
Roger, Bob, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Bob, and what radio are you running today, sir?
We are running an Elecraft K4 and with a expert amplifier doing about 1100 watts to an old band double it at 65 feet. How copy?
Yes, sir, Bob. This really sounds beautiful. I think you've got it well in hand there. Your dynamic range is about 3 dB, which means your average percent of peak modulation is between 80 and 85%, which is just perfect. And we'll be recording this as we are now and laying it up on to YouTube tomorrow by noon. So if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call, let us search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, Roger.
Followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Thank you very much. And we have spoken before. I forget your name there. This radio has something called Controlled Envelope Single Sideband, CESSB. And you're probably familiar with that. It does give a couple dB of audio boost, and we have it set, it can go from 0 to 30. We have it set right around 21, which according to the Elecraft people seem to give the optimal audio. And thank
Thank you very much for that report. You're about S9 to 10 over here, and very nice signal. I believe you're in Indiana or Illinois. So your name and QTH. Again, name here is Bob. We're outside of Philly, halfway between Philadelphia and Trenton, New Jersey, not far from where General Washington crossed the Delaware in 1776. Back to you from K3AC.
Roger, Roger, Bob. Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and we're located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. And gosh, you were talking about that control, envelope control you have for that radio. Would that be something similar to drive on the 7610, would you say?
Drive on the 7610, would you say?
Negative. No. This particular feature, actually takes the place of the speech processor in ICOM, Yaesu, and Kenwood radios. The only other manufacturer, to my knowledge, that is using controlled envelope single sideband for their processing is Flex. Flex started with it, and the Elecraft designers put it in this radio, which is, of course, a much newer design. I don't think it was in their K3 radio, so if you search on that, you'll see articles. It's abbreviated CESSB, Charlie Echo Sugar Bravo, and it allows the sideband envelope to be compressed and crank this thing up according to what I've read all the way up to 30 without much. What I've read all the way up to 30 without much distortion, unlike the ICOM, Kenwood, and Yaesu compressors. So yeah, it's an interesting circuitry. I'm not an expert on it, but the designers at Elecraft, they're engineers, and they put this thing in this radio, and I get good reports with it. So there you go. And I suspect that the Japanese manufacturers will probably make that a feature also. It's a nice thing. It allows you to, basically, they say, gives you like the effect of a linear amplifier without having an amplifier. Probably not quite true, but adds another 2 or 3 dB gain there. So back to you, Jim, okay, on the QTH near Indiana, near the Ohio River, from K3AC.
Roger, Bob. Well, like again said, your dynamic range, I'm looking at your audio on a VU meter that's tied to the output of the radio along with a spectrum analyzer. And ballistically on the VU meter, I can tell that your dynamic range is approximately 3 dB, which means your average percent of peak modulation is around 80 to 85%, maybe a tad hotter. But, if you go any more than where you are, you would start to blur. So you're not blurring at the moment, but and that's what we say. What we shoot for is a 3 dB dynamic range audio wise. Roger.
What we shoot for is a 3 dB dynamic range audio wise. Roger.
Roger. Yeah, like I said, the range on this CESSB goes from 0 to 30. And from what I've read from all the users, we have a users group for the K4, and the owners are on there, and they're two hams that are electrical engineers that design the thing. Anyway, the sweet spot seems to be about 20, and we have it set at 21. I see it on the meter. When you're in transmit, you have 4 meters on this radio, Jim. You have the ALC meter, the compression meter called CMP, that goes from 0 to 30. You have the RF power output, and we're running about 18 watts here into the amplifier. And you have the SWR, which right now is about 1.2 to 1. So, yeah, thank you for that report. Glad we have it set. The microphone for your information is an Electro Voice RE27, and we're working EQ. We have tried the inboard EQ in the radio. It doesn't seem to be quite as powerful or as effective as this outboard unit. So that's the setup here. The radio EQ is flat. The EQ Plus base is flat. The EQ Plus base is at 12 o'clock. The treble is at about 2 o'clock position. So we have a little bit of treble boost there. Anyway, we'll let you carry on with your grouping there, and thanks very much. Nice chatting with you. Hope you and your family had a Happy New Year. Thanks again for the report. Back to you from K3AC.
Yes, sir. Well, during that conversation, I went down to my local antenna, my local radio. I'm running the 7300 on the local, and the frequency response was displayed on my spectrum analyzer. I'm no filtering, just straight across, flat out of the 7300, and you really look good. Frequency response. Look down to about 60 cycles, somewhere in there, and the top end was nice and bright. And it did have a little noise on my local antenna, so I have been copying the mail mostly on the Milford SDR. And, you know, those SDRs roll out at about 300 cycles. So, you know, I have a chevron over on the right side that shows where I am audio-wise. So I've been running between well, gosh, it's actually Milford. I have a difficulty in nomenclatures today because Milford was tied up until after airtime, and I just managed to catch it on another SDR. So when it says Georgia on my SDR, it's really Milford. It's really confusing day to day, but I'm glad to have Milford as an SDR backup. You know, it helps so much for some of our 100-watt friends. So anyway, Bob, let me say 73, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. Roger, Roger.
73, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, Jim, thank you very much. Yeah, Milford, I believe, that's in Pennsylvania. I don't have the SDR hooked up here. I do have that capability, but it's not active right now. I don't have the PC on. This radio is an SDR. It runs Linux, but I don't have it connected to the PC, and I'm not on the internet, so we're just running the receiver directly from the antenna. And the antenna, as I said, is a 80 meter. Okay, thanks again, Jim. You have a nice weekend, and thank you very much for the report. You have a nice weekend, and thank you very much for the report. And glad to hear that the radio sounds good. Back to you for any final comments. We'll let you carry on and say 73. This is K3AC.
Roger, Roger, Bob. 73 there, sir. Sounding really choice, and I think you'll like your recording. We'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow on a call to search KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. 73, sir. This is Friday afternoon, Qso-Vlog net. We record now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 4, Romeo Charlie Oscar.
November 4 station, come back slowly with your call sign phonetically.
November 4 station, come back slowly with your call sign phonetically.
Roger, sir. This is November 4, Romeo Charlie Oscar. The name here is Ross, Roger Oscar Sierra Sierra. And I have talked to you before, but not since I got my new radio, QSL.
Roger, Roger, Ross. Whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Roger, Ross. Whereabouts are you located, sir?
I'm in northeast Arkansas, about 10 miles south of the Missouri border and about 70 miles.
Alrighty, why don't you tell me about your radio for about 10 seconds there. Let me see if I can get a better path for us, Roger.
Okay, Jim. The radio here, I just got it about 2 weeks ago. It is a brand new Yaesu FTDX10.
which I love. Took me a while to figure out how to run it because I'm such an old guy. But now that I've got it running, it seems like it's doing pretty well. And the amplifier, I'm only running about 300 watts, but it's an Ameritron AL811, kind of 3-tube, the old one, you know.
Roger, Ross. Now, you've got a little low-frequency hum there. I'm not sure exactly what that is about. You might try moving your microphone away from your radio, and let me see if that changes.
Okay. Now, somebody had told me that before. Now, what I have done is I had my microphone plugged into an MFJ 1263, which allows me to use multiple microphones, and I just unplugged it and plugged it back directly into the radio. Is this better?
Oh, yes, sir. No hum at all. That's perfect right like that, Roger.
Okay, so I guess the guy was right. I'm getting it out of that 1263, and I guess I need to get that thing away from any power sources or anything, QSL.
Roger. Now, how is it powered? Is that powered by a wall wart or a battery, internal battery or something?
It is not powered by anything at all. There's a modular cable that goes from the back of that to the radio itself, and then you can plug in either a round or a modular mic A or mic B into the front, QSL.
Roger. And what does it do? What's the functionality of that box?
The functionality is to use two different mics by just pushing a button to change microphones, and two different radios by just pushing a button to change two different radios.
Yeah, and keep your fingers crossed you don't have a screw up there. I guess it's not like switching linears or power amps that, sometimes mistakes are made, unfortunately, that things didn't go exactly as planned. But I understand that you want to switch mics or switch radios. But that combination that you're running right now sounds pretty good, Roger.
Roger that. Okay, well, I appreciate that, Jim. Well, the main reason I bought this thing is because my previous radio was a TS570D, and I had a MC85 desk mic that I just love, and I wanted to try to be able to use that Kenwood mic with this Yaesu radio, and they're not really very compatible, QSL.
Oh, Roger. So, gosh, if you wanted to, we could play with this for a minute, see if we could track down what the hum is. Did you have a second microphone plugged into that at the time, or did you just have one lead coming out of that going to your radio and one lead going to your one microphone?
I just had one microphone plugged into mic A, and the radio on the back plugged into to radio A, and then that cable is modular. It goes directly to the Yaesu. And the microphone I'm using myself is also modular. The Kenwood that I wanted to use is an 8-pin round.
Roger. So what I'm thinking is that maybe you have a ground loop between the two radios. If you were to pull the feed to the second radio, we could see if that is where the ground loop is, Roger?
Roger, well, I don't even have the other radio hooked up right now. I just have the mic A hooked up to radio A. I'm not even using the mic B or the radio B at all.
Yes, sir. Okay, go back through the box and on the A side, and you've got the A output going to your radio and the microphone going into the A input side, and just try moving the box physically around just a little bit.
Okay, I have taken the box and moved it to where it's away from anything electrical to speak of. It's just sitting by itself. And I have plugged the mic back into the box, and I have plugged the box back into the radio, QSL.
Okay, you still have hum. So go to the B. You can't go to the B side because your mic settings are different plugins. Is that a Roger?
No, it's just as it came from the factory. I can put this into the mic B, and I can put the radio in the radio B if you want me to try that.
Yeah, let's try the B side, see what it does.
Okay, I'm talking through the mic through the mic B slot, but it's still coming out to radio A slot.
Yes, sir. Still got hum. So I think you might have since you don't have another radio involved, you're not getting a ground loop. It sounds like what is happening is you're not getting a proper ground from the radio to the microphone that you're using. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that hum. Roger, Roger?
Yeah, copy that. Well, there's no ground for this box. I'll tell you what, give me a minute. I'm going to hook it into radio B and see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, Roger, okay.
You might try just placing your hand on both of those pieces of electronics while you modulate it. AD4FL.
Roger, Roger, FL, and we'll see him glow as he becomes a human fuse at 300 volts. I'm kidding.
Okay, Jim, now I am got it into mic B and to radio B, but the radio B is going to the Yaesu.
Yes, sir, let's avoid the confusion. Let's get rid of that. It's got a severe problem. I don't know what it is, but you are getting a loud hum there, whatever you do. And the hum was very similar one way and the other way. So I would just get rid of it and go with the mic straight in. I think that'll take care of it mostly or all of it. Roger?
Okay, I'm back to this mic plug directly in the radio. Is this okay now?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You go to the head of the class there. Roger, Roger.
Contact. I had somebody help me with the audio last week and got it all tweaked up. It should be sound. The audio should be pretty good. It's like you told me, to get some more treble on it and get the bass off of it. So is the audio good now?
Yes, sir. And we had a contact. Go ahead, contact.
Yeah, the thing for him to take a look at, I've run into this before. I will bet that the box has microphone negative attached to chassis ground. And in the Yaesu and the Kenwood, microphone negative has to be isolated from chassis ground, otherwise you get exactly that hum. W4UCK.
Okay, copy that, W4UCK. I will try that. There's all kind of jumpers inside the box. So there's the jumpers for ground, there's jumpers for the different types of mic where you can use different configurations with jumpers. So I just need to experiment with it a little bit. But for now, this is, Jim says this is the way to go, the way it is right now.
Yeah, I think that's the best way until you get on a dummy load with a pair of earphones and you're listening into your monitor or something that you can play with it that way. And do look for something going to ground from your say radio. Let's see, the shield on your audio going to chassis ground. You want to make sure that doesn't happen. That should stay above ground. Roger.
Roger that, Jim. Well, it wasn't that expensive. It was only like $40 or $50. I just thought I'd give it a try. So if it's going to mess up my sound, I'm not worried about that. I'll send it back to Ham Radio Outlet.
Oh, yes, sir. I would do that. Because obviously there is a problem. And we've run it 3 different ways, and it had that same hum. So it is something probably on the input of the audio from the radio going to chassis ground on your box. And incidentally, is that outboard box, is that all plastic or is that metal?
No, sir. It's all metal.
Yes, sir. That's probably what it is then. You have another ground coming from somewhere, and you have what happens is your mic ground and your chassis ground are 2 different things, and they're coming together. So you might look look right at the plug that goes to your radio and see if there's something that goes from there to chassis ground. Maybe 2 things that go from there to chassis ground on the feed that goes to your radio, Roger. And you want to take probably the one that is a shield to your audio and maybe back that one, if you can, back that one off the chassis ground.
Okay, got it, Jim. And somebody in there came in and said it's all plastic. It's not all plastic. It's all metal. It's got a metal cover and a metal chassis, and the only thing plastic is the circuit board.
See, that's the uptown Ukrainian model. Everything comes from Ukraine anymore.
Yeah, copy that. Okay, Jim, I've taken a lot of your time. I know probably some other people that want to call you, so thank you so much for taking the time to help me. And as you always do, you're a great guy, and you help a lot of guys, amateurs, and we appreciate that. So, 73 to you, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to talk to you again. November 4, Romeo Charlie Oscar.
Roger, Ross, and what radio were you running today?
I'm running my new Yaesu FTDX10.
Roger, Ross. 73, sir, if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording. I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger that. Kilo Charlie 9, Charlie Kilo Victor, correct?
Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor.
Victor Kilo Victor, gotcha. Okay, thanks a lot, Jim.
Roger, Roger, Ross, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
84 FM.
Juliet Mike X-ray.
AD4, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Alpha Delta 4, Fox, Lima, good evening.
Roger, Fox Lima, Alpha Delta 4, Fox Lima, is that correct?
You have it.
Roger, Roger, Fox Lima, and what's the name there?
Name is Gary.
Roger, Gary, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
I'm in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, about 60 miles south of Nashville, Tennessee. QSO?
Roger, Larry, and what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running a Kenwood TS-890.
Boy, my pen is sad shape. I'm almost into Braille with it, but it's the only one I got for the moment, so I'll just have to write harder, I guess. Well, I think we could probably get you a little fuller if you would be interested. Is that a newer radio or an older radio, sir?
It's pretty new.
Alrighty, so we want to be on that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. Can you check that, or you want to make a note on that to check?
Well, let's see. Transmit bandwidth. I'm on 3K.
I'm sorry, we've got some sideband garbage going on there. Did you say you could check that, or you want to make notes on that?
No, it's at 3.
2900, 100 to 2900, is that a Roger?
I'm 100 to 3. Well, wait a minute. Let's see. I'm at 100. No, I'm at 200 to 3K right now. Do you want it at 100 to 29?
Yes, sir. That would be preferable. That's what we suggest. That gives you just a little grace before you're into somebody else's front yard. 100 to 2900, Roger?
All right. That's where we're at now. The only reason I had the 200 on the low cut was just trying to get rid of a few of the lows. I do have a bassy, scratchy voice, but now this microphone, not so much. This is just a little headset with a little cheaper microphone.
Sounds good. Now, our setup, would you be running that microphone or another microphone?
I'd like to set it up for this one.
All right, sir. So it starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. That's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Just a third of the compression capabilities, Roger.
All right, let me get back out of this menu. I normally don't run compression, but here we go. Roger.
That's why we wanted 3, because it's imperceptible. You can't hear that actually happening. It's so light, but it does what it needs to do. So just 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, you know.
All right. The processor out is at 30 out of 100 right now.
Roger, Roger, sounds good. All right, now let's move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, stretch out the front of that word, audio, and with mic gain, adjust your ALC to where it's running 2/3. You become a human signal generator, Roger?
Okay. Audio. That's about where we're at right now. About 2/3 of the ALC before we stretch over into where we shouldn't be.
Yes, sir. That's why I've gone to that word, because it's so, what we used to say is, same thing, mic gain in hand and transmit, and as you speak rather rapidly, adjust it to mid-scale to 2/3. But just saying that word audio with that tone is so perfect, just to set it at 2/3, and it's just beautiful word to set your AOC with, Roger.
Audio, that's where we're at, 2/3.
All right, sir. And do you have an equalization or tone control page?
I do.
All right. Can we go to there?
I'm there.
All right. And is that a 3-band, 8-band, or what?
17.
17. Is that a 8-band parametric? Is that what that is?
Well, it's 17 different slots that I can adjust, and I'm not sure if it's parametric or not.
All right. Do you have something on the treble side, way on up there, around 2.7K? Can you adjust your frequencies 2.7K, Roger?
Yeah, I can. 2.7. Mine starts at 0.3, 0.6, and then works its way up to 5.1 megahertz.
Yes, sir. Well, what we're looking for is 2.7. So do you have anything on the top end around 2.7?
I do.
All right, what do you got there?
I'm setting, let's see. I'm setting just almost on 0, but not hardly.
On what frequency?
2.7.
Oh, you have a 2.7?
I do.
Excellent. All right, take that plus 3, 2.7 plus 3. 2.7 plus 3. Beautiful, beautiful.
We're at plus 3.
All right. Now, do you have a width control? Can you set the width at that, like a 4?
In other words, you want my transmit audio to be a 4?
The width of that 2.7, some folks have the ability to shape the 2.7K as far as how wide it is or how narrow a boost it is, like right on 2.7 or maybe a little bit wider. Just depends on whether you have the capability of making your frequency selection more broad than narrow. Roger?
No, I can't do those individually on these 17.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, let's go back to 2.7 again, plus 2 more clicks boost from where you are, plus 2 more clicks treble boost on 2.7 from where you are.
Okay, I just did that, plus 2 more clicks.
Ooh, sounded nice. Now I want you to tell me about your antenna system for about 10 seconds.
I'm running a closed loop, horizontally polarized, 535 feet. I'm feeding it with a piece of RG213 into a 4-to-1 balun, and the balun feed point's up about 30 feet, QSL.
Oh, sounds really good there. Really good, Larry. I would get the Gorilla Tape and taper it down there, Roger.
All right. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you want to hear that beautiful audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV. I'll tell you what, since it sounds so good, what I would like from you would be an Elmer tribute or an Elmer shout-out. If you had an Elmer, I'd like to get you to do about a 20-second piece on your Elmer. Roger?
Well, my Elmer, I actually met him at church. His name is Richard DeLuna. And I don't think he's active anymore, but I went into his house following a revival meeting and saw an 850 sugar down in his shack, and I've been hooked on ham radio ever since, and he worked me through no-code technician, and he and I, with some other folks that we're all liking radios, went to different test sites over the next year, and he kind of worked with me all the way through the advanced and extra class, which we are now, QSL.
Oh, Roger. And gosh, he got out of ham radio?
I don't know. I lost contact with him completely. I don't think he's just active. He still has an active license, but I don't know of him being active anywhere. And he doesn't answer any messages through the only email I have on QRZ.
I got you. I got you. Well, I think the Elmer program in ham radio is just so beautiful because it just helps the newbie coming in to figure out the ropes and gets technical advice on how to do this and that, and it just really helps the newcomer and the guy that's been around for a long time. It just relationships are just so beautiful on ham radio, Roger.
Roger. I would agree with that 100%. I suppose some of what we have going on today is lack of good Elmers, and the bands are not like they used to be.
I think that's true, and I think another thing, too, is a lot of the Elmers move on to extra class, and they get off on those other frequencies that we can't go to, and so they lock themselves away and cease to be of benefit to their fellow ham operator, unfortunately.
Roger, give me your call one more time. Was it KC9?
Roger, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor. Name is Jim, and again the call is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, and we're located near Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville.
I got you at New Albany. I got you, Jim. Well, I'll let you get back. I heard 2 or 3 more calling when I did, and I feel like I've invaded on too much of your time already, so I'll let you go and maybe help someone else. Thanks for your help, and thanks for all you do. I consider you Elmer number 2 or number 3. I've got a couple of them, I guess. See you later, Jim. Now, thank you for picking me up and giving me some help today.
Yes, sir, Larry. Just booming on my local antenna. You're at least 30 over, 20, 30 over, somewhere around there. Just beautiful. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. I'll have this uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So 73. This is KC9VKV. Got room for one more. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Something in Northeast Florida. Who is that in Northeast Florida? Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Yeah, the call is Whiskey Bravo 6. Whiskey Charlie Ocean. The name is Ted. Like Theodore, Tango, Echo, Delta. You copy, over?
Yes, sir, Ted. I've got you. And what part of Florida are you in?
I'm in Northeast Florida, St. Augustine, Florida. Less than 3 miles off the Atlantic coast. Do you copy?
Yes, sir. I'm on my local antenna. You're giving me about 10 over. Roger, Roger.
Copy that as a bad amateur extra class. The apex is probably 20 feet. We're a full inverted G is 6-foot legs. Over.
Roger, Roger, Ted. Now, what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running old school TSA 30S, and the microphone is an MC50. And the amplifier is a Dentron Clipper 10L, about 300-400 watts. Over.
Roger, Ted. Well, let me suggest that maybe you get a windscreen on that microphone. It will really help you a bunch. Then you'll be able to work it just about any way you want. But I did hear some transients, and that windscreen would just snap that up and take all those transients away, and you'll be speaking just beautiful words only. Roger?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can go to your local music store and get the color of your choice. They're only about $3 or $4, and put that on there, and then you can work that mic almost any way you want to without problems. Roger?
Yeah, copy that. No problem. I'll take a standby. Good to make your acquaintance. And you guys out there for doing a beautiful signal in the Northeast Florida. Over.
Yes, sir. Well, we're getting ready to wrap up. We run between 3:30 and 5 on Friday afternoons only. So, gosh, and that is an older radio. That PSE 30, is that a Roger?
Yeah, copy that.
Do you have an EQ page on that radio?
I'm sorry. Hold on. I got a lot of intermod. Come back again?
Yes, sir. Do you have a tone control page or equalization page on that radio?
Equalization, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir, for your transmit.
Yeah.
All right, you could use just a little more top end for clarity, like about plus 2 clicks additional treble EQ from where you are, plus 2 clicks treble EQ boost from where you are. Roger?
Yeah, copy that. So you need a little bit of bump?
I'm sorry?
Does that sound a little bit better to you, over?
Well, all I needed was plus 2 clicks, treble EQ boost from where you were. That, just don't roll your bottom off to get that. Just leave the bottom where it was and just boost your top end 2 clicks. Roger, roger.
Yeah, copy that, over.
Yeah, so I have a very inconsiderate person that's doing a tune-up on the frequency. I don't know why they pick an active frequency to do a tune-up on, but they do. And it's not even Friday the 13th. I don't know what's going on with these QRMers anymore.
Well, copy that. Well, I'm glad you jumped in there to help me a little bit. I can bump this down and bump this up a little bit. But good to make your acquaintance, over.
Yes, so did you boost your top end yet?
Yeah, did that make a little bit of a difference?
You could boost just another couple of clicks. 2 more clicks top end boost. We'll get a nice top end edge there for clarity and articulation.
Yeah, copy that. Let me bump this down a little bit of an air. How about that right there? Is that a little bit better, over?
Yes, sir. And probably you want to be about 3 inches away from microphone. What happens is if you get closer than that, you have a thing called proximity effect, and that gives you a bass buildup. So you want to stay off that mic about 3 or 4 inches. Roger?
Yeah, copy that. Let me adjust this right. Hang on.
Okay, now once you pull off like that sounded really nice right there. That was the right distance from mic. You need to go back to your AOC and adjust your mic gain until your AOC is 2/3. When you say the magic word audio, stretch out that word audio, you become a human test tone, and adjust your mic level until your AOC is 2/3.
Copy. Does that sound a little bit better right there, over?
Well, I want you to set your audio level. I mean, this is the way to do it. That is just absolutely perfect. The word is audio. Stretch out the front and adjust your mic gain until your AOC is 2/3.
Yeah, copy that. I mean, I can bump it up about a hair right there, and let's bump this down about a hair right there, and kind of a carnival act, but anyway, as long as you guys hear me okay, over.
Yes, sir. All right, 73 that way. I got to get out of here. It's past my bedtime, so let me say threes to you there, sir, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend down in Florida, Ted.
You do the same. And thank you, that other gentleman out there. If you guys hear me okay, God bless you from the great state of Florida, WB6, WCO. You guys are sounding great tonight, over.
So, this is KC9VKV, and I see by the clock on the wall there's a dead fly. Ooh. So we got to get out of here, and we'll say, if you enjoyed the show and if you participated, want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So this is KC9VKV, returning the frequency back to normal radio amateur use. This is KC9VKV, clear.